It's Just Not Cricket, a football podcast. My name's Hal Stewart, and I have alongside me today, I would say he is now fully convalesced. It is Adam Scott. Hello.
I'm ever fully convalesced.
Well, no, that's definitely
always on the cusp of something.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know what I worked out a little earlier? And by me working out, I mean I saw on Twitter. You know, we were speaking about Dream Team, and you loathe it.
Yes, I recall us talking about Dream Team and how much I loathe it.
Dream Team is 21 years old.
Is it?
As of 2018, 21 years old, which has really made me think.
I just recall the star player being murdered with a clothes peg. But then his spirit was there to watch some game later on in the season.
You're making it sound like it wasn't that well written or realistic.
Yes, I am.
I resent that. What I do love, and we now know is our most popular feature, is where we're going straight away.
The end?
Not the end.
Mysterious player of mystery.
And today it's my turn to test you, Adam, on a mysterious player of mystery. We've been doing this for 3 weeks. The score is 1-1, so you have a chance to take the lead.
This is significant. But the good thing for you is I'm quite bad at this game.
There is always that. Are you ready for this player's clubs? We will reveal the answer at the end. And of course, if you're struggling, Adam, you can ask for the player's position at any time.
Okay.
Albacete. So we're starting in Spain. We then have Zaragoza. Am I going to continue with this lisp thing?
I hope so.
All right. This one's hard to do with. Real Madrid.
Right.
Monaco on loan.
Monaco.
Liverpool. Valencia.
Aye. There we go.
Marseille.
In
France. And then Santa Ana. You're going to ask me where that is?
I think that might be Andorra.
California.
Or as they call it, Little Andorra.
So have you got any idea, early biscuits?
I do. Now my question is whether I try and confirm it by asking for the position.
Then you'd lose the possibility.
Or just go all in for 3 points.
Yeah,
so I'm going to mull that over for a little while as well.
Adam has to weigh that up. If he asks for the position and he gets it, he can get a maximum of 1 point. If he doesn't ask for the position and gets it, it's 3 points. Adam, twerk. That word, you know what a twerk is? Do you want me to do that for you right now?
No, I really don't.
Well, there you go, right in your face. Twerk, that word has been around since 1820.
But what did it mean in 1820?
I'd like to imagine it was just a Yorkshireman saying, I'm off to work.
Oh, I see. Is that why you mentioned it, just so you do your Yorkshire gag?
Yeah. Thanks to Reginald on our chat about FC Spartak Trnava, the Slovak professional football team. A pronunciation warning was in effect.
It always is.
But we have been corrected on the pronunciation of Spartak Trnava, and I've written it phonetically. Thanks, Reginald, for pointing this one out. It's Trnava.
What about the pronunciation of Spartak? Are we happy with that?
FC Spartak Trnava. FC Spartak Trnava. You know what? When I had it first, I had it. Never mind.
What are Reginald's credentials? Is he a Slovak?
He is from Slovakia, yes.
Oh, then I will bow to his knowledge on this particular subject.
Well, I think I butchered that just worse. You've got a Jacob's cream cracker.
Right.
3 socks and a photo of Thomas Brolin.
Uh-huh.
Which of these items do you take with you into Hanoi City to use to barter with and or to avoid Russian roulette with Christopher Walken?
I'm sure Hanoi City has changed since then.
If anyone hasn't seen The Deer Hunter, it's just going to sound like a really strange question. These are the kind of things we pose to each other regularly.
As you're alluding to, and as I well know, Thomas Brolin is something of a legend.
Opens a lot of doors.
All of Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's Brolin.
Give him the Brolin.
I'm playing the Brolin card. Also, why do I only have 3 socks?
Only got 3?
Yeah, why? Surely there should be an even numbers.
You've got 1 spare.
Ah.
For your
feet?
Your JT.
So I have to choose which foot is the chilliest?
No, you might need one for your JT.
My JT?
Your John Thomas.
Right, he plays for Bury, doesn't he?
Okay, we're back to squad numbers. You might remember we did this before. This is squad numbers part 2. And it's squad numbers that irk my soul.
Oh, yes.
Squad numbers that shouldn't be on the backs of players.
Yes.
I believe 1 to 11, you say number 2, that's a right back. You say number 7, he's playing on the right wing.
Rui Patricio upsets me.
Because he wears 11.
Yes.
Okay, I get
And
that.
he is a goalkeeper, and he shouldn't.
Derek Riordan, you know what position he played at Hibs?
He was a forward.
Well, when the Scottish striker, an international striker, signed for Hibs in 2008, he was a bit miffed to learn the number 10 jersey was already taken. So miffed, in fact, he convinced the club to let him wear 0-1.
No.
0-1 on the back of his shirt. Sheffield Wednesday stopper Joe Wildsmith, the Owls' backup keeper at the time, so desperate to be Wednesday's number 1, he couldn't, it was already taken, chose to wear the closest number to it, number 2. For a goalkeeper.
That's not right.
What about the man they just called Kanu because no one wanted to say Nwankwo? Remember what number he wore for Nigeria?
4?
Yeah, as a striker. Now, Darren Huckabee. This was a number he wore at Norwich, which I would say is reserved for defensive leaders like Tony Adams.
This was, I'm thinking I remember this. I'm thinking he had number 6.
He did. That's the number you associate with Franco Baresi, Bobby Moore. It's not for a winger/forward.
When Paulo Futre signed for West Ham United, his chosen squad number, which I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was 10.
It was taken already by John Moncur.
Yeah, it was 10.
And he was so desperate to have this squad number that he offered John Moncur 3 weeks in his Portuguese villa as a holiday, free of charge. And John Moncur didn't really care what squad number he had, so he went, yeah.
This is absolutely true, and also Paulo Futre took up quite a stink before that and actually disappeared back to Portugal until this was sorted.
He was adamant that that had to be his squad number.
Harry Redknapp had to get special dispensation from the Premier League to actually change mid-season a squad number. And now John Moncur has 2 sons that are both professional footballers. Got another one, and this one for me, I've left the best till last of the squad numbers that were just stupid. Bixente Lizarazu at Bayern Munich. You don't like the really big numbers.
I don't remember his squad number being weird.
69.
Did he?
The answer is really quite simple, though, because the number was loaded with personal meaning for him.
Because he's such a sexual being.
That, but also he was born in 1969. He's exactly 1.69 metres tall.
Right.
He weighed 69 kilograms.
Uh-huh.
And that's enough. It sounded like I had more, but that's all I wrote. So that's it. That was 69.
Do you think he kept his weight at 69 kilograms
Have
for
you
that
seen
very
him? Have you
reason?
seen him recently?
No, we don't talk anymore.
Oh, do you not? You're not keeping touch?
Not after the unpleasantness.
Can I just get a quick update on our Adrian Mutu crowdfunding, please? It's been a
Oh,
while.
yes. No, I mean, it has.
He'll be wondering where we're up to.
Let me get the thing out.
Yeah, please do.
Just put it on
Looks
the
bigger than last time.
on the wall there.
It's a bit warmer.
To be honest, given the gap that has occurred since we last talked about this, I thought it would go higher.
Can I just see
Just
that?
about there.
Yeah, you'd expect it to be a little bit higher, wouldn't you?
Just there. I don't think that he has the appeal. His appeal has no appeal.
Well, we appeal to you. Time now for stats and stuff. Adam, the last time an England international match was postponed was in October 2012 due to waterlogged pitch. The opponents were...
The Ukraine.
Close.
It was in the Ukraine.
Poland.
It was the other host.
You're going to get this. Which city has won the most top-flight titles in England?
Top flight titles, so not Premiership titles.
No, top-flight titles.
Top flight titles. Way back when.
Go right back to the start. Which city? So you could have more than one club winning these as well.
Yeah, no, I was attuned to
You
that.
really, basically, just understood the question.
I did.
Yeah.
I did do that.
And it's in England.
It's in England, so that means it's not Scotland.
Or Wales.
Or Argentina, or anywhere like that.
Congratulations to River Plate. Commiserations to Boca Juniors.
Indeed. Manchester.
Liverpool. 2018, the World Cup there, saw a record number of penalties awarded. Now, not including the shootouts, how many penalties did we see at the 2018 World Cup?
12.
29.
Really?
Can you believe that? I did say it was a record.
Lord.
This is good because we're exactly 21 years ago that Ronaldo won his first Golden Ball. The phenomenon Ronaldo.
The fat one.
You can say that. He started his career at, and I hope I get this right, this is a pronunciation warning in effect, São Cristóvão FC, which is a neighbourhood in Rio. Now, behind the team picture, which is where they get all their squad photos done at the start of each year, it is written, the birthplace of the phenomena. Now, if he'd walked just another 10 minutes down the road, Ronaldo would have played with Romario and Edmundo at Vasco da Gama.
Wow, that would have been a strike force.
Just 10 minutes away, and he would have had no idea as a youngster.
Vasco da Gama would have provided Brazil's strike force.
And arguably the three greatest, and arguably the two greatest Brazilian strikers. I'm not throwing Edmundo
No?
into that one.
Tell me, do you know about Andrea Azzoli?
I don't think even you do. Well,
No.
you struggled through that.
It was his birthday the other day. He's the coach of Empoli. It was his 65th birthday. Do you know what the club did for him?
Oh, I hope they got him a nice cake.
They sacked him.
That's Italy.
That's just a little ditty I read about.
Throwback to the Zamperini.
It was his...
era.
Empoli struggling a little bit currently at time of speaking in Serie A, and yeah, he was celebrating his birthday, the veteran coach, and he got the boot.
Right, another quick quiz question, because you're doing really well at these. Name a club who've spent just one season in the Premier League, and there are only 3.
Oldham.
No, they spent 2 seasons.
Swindon.
Yes.
I'm annoyed at that first time.
I'll give you a clue. Ian Holloway.
Oh, that must be Blackpool.
Yep, I'll give you another clue. Georgi Hristov.
Georgi Hristov, Barnsley. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Blackpool Football Club. I have no negative opinion on them, but I'm not a fan. It's a struggle to picture them in the Premier League.
They did remarkably well. You know, they pushed it all the way right up to the final game against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and it could have happened.
They did. They attacked the challenge with gusto. It really worked out at the beginning of the season. It just all kind of petered out, and it just wasn't meant to
And
be.
Barnsley were the other way around. At the start of the season, they were conceding goals for fun. Then at the end, they got their act together. Quite unlucky. I remember a game at Oakwell against Liverpool with some fairly dodgy sendings off and decisions. It just didn't go their way. Could have stayed up.
Gilbril Cisse, formerly of Liverpool and Sunderland.
Lord Digibrel Cisse.
He recently took to the catwalk in the fashion capital of the world, Paris, in a suit designed by Jean-Luc de Clouseau. There is a twist to this story. Jean-Luc de Clouseau is not a fashion designer. He is an artisan chocolatier, and the suit was entirely edible. He was modelling at the 2018 Salon du Chocolat in Paris, which is a charity event that raises money for the Association Mévenet Cardiaque Surgery. So he wore a chocolate suit.
I love that.
Remember Ronaldinho?
Yes.
Him of the Ballon d'Or
Yeah.
and the teeth. You
The-
know,
the
played
ladies.
played for Barcelona.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this. I read a newspaper report. I believe you would call it a kiss and tell story in a tabloid, in which a young lady described him as a pneumatic love drill.
I also read that he was dating twins,
Right.
and he didn't know that they both knew.
After his high living, as we have just discussed, he's in a bit of bother. He runs a charity in his native Brazil, and they recently did some building work. And it was discovered that this building work was on protected land in Porto Alegre. And
Thought it was on his teeth.
Oh, that's unkind. And he was issued a fine of €2 million for this,
Ooh.
and his bank accounts were frozen. And it was discovered that to his name he had about €6.
He spent it all.
It would appear so.
Wow, that's actually not easy to do.
I mean, he had a lot of money.
In a way, I'm impressed.
I am too.
Well done, Ronaldinho. Hope you had fun during the journey.
I think we know he definitely had fun.
Juventus striker Cristiano Ronaldo has scored in every minute when getting those 669 career goals at time of recording. He scored in every minute of a game, right?
Right.
That is amazing. But his most
Same
common
game?
his most common minute for scoring. What minute has he scored most of his goals in?
I mean, I feel like stats can go too far sometimes.
This is a great start.
I mean, who even cares?
I thought this was really interesting.
Hey, what minute
Yeah,
of
what
the match
minute has
is his most prolific minute?
Is his favoured minute. When you get to that minute against Ronaldo, you know something's going to happen.
Right.
You need to take him out of the game before minute number
14.
23.
Oh, okay.
So that was a pretty good guess. And Adam, did you know that all of Serie A's current managers are Italian?
I did know that, yes.
Okay, well, it's fine. Eggnog, where do you stand?
I don't like it too noggy. I like an egg.
Yeah, I like just the egg component,
Yeah.
but cold.
Cold like your soul at Christmas.
Indeed.
The Club World Cup, how? Did you know the first game that was billed as a Football World Championship was held in 1887 and was a match between Scottish Cup winners Hibernian and FA Cup semi-finalists Preston North End?
Why not the winners?
I don't know.
Very strange, isn't it?
I don't know.
Were they busy
I
that
tried
day?
to find that out. FIFA did not show an interest in this kind of concept of a sort of a club, an intercontinental club competition until about the 1950s. But they remained largely on the sidelines, as it was the Brazilian Football Confederation who really ran with the idea and arranged a number of intercontinental tournaments. But these attempts tended to peter out because the top European sides just couldn't be bothered with that long trek across the Atlantic. An alternative was mooted in 1957, the Tournoi de Paris. It was created, and a Brazilian club, Vasco da Gama, did make the trip in the other direction, and they beat Real Madrid in the very first tournament. And so furious were Real Madrid at this defeat, because they were the all-conquering champions of Europe at this time, that they refused to consider it as anything other than a friendly match.
Ah, nice.
And they just kind of ignored
taking it seriously anyway.
Exactly. Although they did cheer up 3 years later when they beat Penarol in the first Intercontinental Cup.
Did he bring Danger Mouse? Carry on.
A match between the champions of Europe and South America, a match which continued into 2004. You may well remember it as the match that Man United went to play in at the expense of competing in the FA Cup.
Was it Necaxa that played in that tournament, representing Mexico? It was in Brazil.
I think they did play Necaxa.
I think a couple of players got sent off, I seem to remember.
Do you recall who the club that was the lucky loser in the FA Cup draw?
Barnsley.
I think it was Plymouth Argyle.
Oh, it could have been.
They had been knocked out in the second round of the Cup, but were admitted in as the lucky loser because Manchester United were not in the Cup draw.
You know what was silly? Was because Man United got knocked out of this tournament almost straight away, they could have still played in the FA Cup.
They could. Do you think it devalued the competition?
Oh, massively. It's the most important club competition in the world.
Has it ever recovered?
The FA Cup?
Yeah.
No.
You say it's the most important club competition in the world. Well, let me tell you, in 1960 was the first international soccer league in which Brazilian side Bangu triumphed over a club, and I would give you 100 guesses, and I bet you would never get it.
Well, what nation are they from?
Scotland.
Morton.
No.
Cowden beef.
No. Should I just tell you?
Stranraer.
Brazilian side Bangu triumphed over Kilmarnock.
A giant killie.
FIFA wanted the International Soccer League to be the Club World Cup. That's what they were striving for, but other federations instead wanted to be part of the more exciting and popular Intercontinental Cup. Neither eventuality happened, with the International Soccer League lasting only 5 more seasons, although it should be mentioned it was won by West Ham in 1963.
No, it shouldn't. Get rid of that.
And UEFA and CONMEBOL, the South American Federation, refused to let anyone else join in their Intercontinental Cup. It was their toy, and they wanted to play with it.
You know, I remember getting a tour of the Tub, which is Feyenoord. I translated the name of Feyenoord Stadium.
The Kuip.
Yeah. The guy giving me the tour was telling me all about their trophies, and one of them he pointed to was when they won the World Club Cup. And he said, this is when we won the Intercontinental Cup. And I was like, oh, like the World Club Cup? No, very different.
It is.
When he was right.
It is very different.
But I remember being quite, what's the term when you feel...
Scared.
That wasn't the word I was going for at all, but yes, frightened. I mean, we were just in his cupboard. I don't think he really worked there. He wasn't even Dutch.
Wasn't a holiday, you were just taken against your will. You were shoved into Stevie's van.
Oh, leave Stevie's van, will you?
And
Let's get out of
off
it.
into the sunset. There were alternate tournaments that came and went, such as the Inter-American Cup and the Afro-Asian Club Championship, until finally, in 2000, FIFA got their act together and played the first edition of the FIFA Club World Championship, in which Corinthians beat Vasco da Gama in the final. Except it then went away again for 4 whole years, finally returning in 2005. And since 2005, it has been played every single year.
On Championship Manager 102, if you won the World Club Cup, it gave you the highest amount of points to get in the Hall of Fame.
Why?
That was regarded as the competition you had to win, but it was every 2 years. It wasn't every season.
The format is very simple. It features the club champions of the 6 global confederations, and after a certain point also an invitational team from the host nation. The hosting duties have rotated between the nations of Japan, the UAE and Morocco since 2005, with the UAE hosting the current iteration. Do you know the participants in the current Club World Championship?
So we're now at the 15th edition of the World Club Cup. Last time it was won by Real Madrid.
It was. Real Madrid beat Gremio in the final.
So they've won the last 2 editions.
They have.
That
they
means...
also beat Kashima Antlers in 2016. Kashima Antlers, who weren't actually a club champion. They were the guest nation of the Japanese hosts.
Good knowledge.
And they actually took Real Madrid to extra time in that final before conceding a couple of goals to lose 4-2.
So that would mean Real Madrid are back defending their title, and we will have River Plate of Argentina.
River Plate, as we've discussed, the Copa Libertadores winners in some would say controversial style.
Team Wellington.
Team Wellington, the perennial arrivals from the OFC, the Oceania Football Confederation.
Guadalajara.
Of Mexico, they are there from CONCACAF.
You mentioned Kashima Antlers, so let's go with them again.
They are there as the AFC champions this time. They are not a guest nation. They are there on their own sporting merits, having won the Champions League in Asia.
And you'll have to tell me the final 2.
Representing CAF, the African Federation, that is Esperance de Tunis. And representing the UAE are the winners of the UAE Pro League, Al Ain. And the format is set up, it's not, because there are 7 teams, it's slightly odd number. Well, it's literally an odd number.
That's how numbers work.
And there is a first round in which the representatives from the hosts will play against the lowest ranked confederation. That is obviously Team Wellington from New Zealand. And then the winner of that will join the 3 next ranked sides, who are Kashima Antlers, Esperance de Tunis and Guadalajara. They will play a sort of semi-final stage. It's more a quarter-final, but it's got the same number of teams as the semi-final. And the 2 teams that then advance to the actual semi-final, where they will be paired off against River Plate and Real Madrid. The European sides tend to dominate. The first 3, actually, were all won by Brazilian sides. Corinthians, Sao Paulo and Internacional. But since then, it's been Europe all the way, apart from 2012, when Corinthians won a second title when they beat Chelsea in the final in Japan. Apart from that, one blip, it has been Europe all the way, past winners being Milan, Manchester United, Barcelona thrice, Bayern Munich have won it once, and Real Madrid have also won it 3 times. So with a win in this one, they will overtake Barcelona in the rankings, and I imagine the fans will enjoy that.
Now, Adam, as you just brought us a competition, I'm going to have a little game with you. I think this could be something that we continue to do. So first of all, tell me what film this is from. What's in the box?
Was that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What's in the box?
Pulp Fiction.
No, it's 7. It was my impression of Brad Pitt.
Oh, yes, I remember what was in the box now.
Well, don't do any spoilers.
Oh, yes, it wasn't a Christmas present.
No, definitely not. Unless that's what he wanted, you know.
Let me rephrase that. It wasn't a good Christmas present.
No, it's just a problem what he had in that box. Now, name the competition from the items in the box as we play What's in the Box. Okay?
Right.
First item, a Ricky Martin CD. You can guess at any time. Second item, a rooster. Third item, a quickly changed team sheet.
Guessing the competition?
Yep.
The World Cup.
Which one?
98.
The final one, let's see if you're right, a Croatian golden boot. You are absolutely right. I'll tell you then, the Ricky Martin CD, the official song of the 1998 FIFA World Cup, was Cup of Life, a.k.a. La Copa de la Vida, recorded by Ricky Martin.
Ah, those were the days.
Yeah, he was living the life that's crazy. The second item, a rooster, because the mascot was Footix.
Yeah, Footix the rooster.
What's the difference between a rooster and a cockerel?
Spelling.
The third item, a quickly changed team sheet. You can explain that.
Ronaldo was playing, and then he wasn't playing, and it was all a bit controversial. Then he was playing.
No, he wasn't playing, then he was playing.
Yes.
So Edmundo was on the team sheet because Ronaldo was sick, and then just minutes before the start, Ronaldo was then back on the team
played
sheet.
magnificently.
Yeah, he was a ghost in that game. And fourth item, a Croatian golden boot, because the golden boot winner in 98 was...
Was it Davor Šuker?
It was. Never by a player based on their golden boot performance at a World Cup. All right, now distance was brought up, Adam, because on a previous podcast you were talking about the furthest game within the same league that teams have to travel.
Yeah, that was a Wikipedia club. We were talking about Perth Glory and their tongue-in-cheek local derby with Team Wellington of New Zealand, which was a distance of more than 3,000 miles, and it was said to be the longest away trip in any top-flight fixture in the world. And this was challenged.
It was?
Challenge sounds aggressive. I'm going to say there was a query.
All right.
And this listener did mention that in the Russian league, recently promoted to the Russian league, is FC Yenisei Krasnoyarsk.
No pronunciation warning in effect? You were just confident with that?
That's spot on.
You're like a man who walks into the changing rooms totally naked. Everything's on display, and he's just like, yep, drink it in.
Yes.
Okay.
And the question was whether that, taking St. Petersburg as the furthest west of the Russian cities that host a top-flight football team, and Krasnoyarsk as the furthest east, was that potentially a longer distance? And I have, I've flown them both.
You've crunched the numbers after the flights.
I've done them both. Yeah. And distance between Perth and Wellington, 3,270 miles. Distance between St. Petersburg and that place I keep saying wrong, 2,223 miles. So there's nearly 1,000-mile difference.
Got your smug face on.
Well, I think people just always misinterpret how, because New Zealand and Australia are always banded together. People, I think they're quite close together. But actually, I've flown from Sydney to Wellington. It's a long old flight.
I'll tell this story. So you already know this, but
Oh, shall I?
Listen doesn't.
Shall I step out?
No, it just reminded me of when I was representing you as a man who walks into a changing room. with everything else. You know this story.
Oh.
No, it's a funny story. If you haven't heard
Yeah.
it before, it's a good story.
Yes, it's
It's a good story.
It's a fine story. I'm not sure it's related to anything.
It's not. Your friend and mine, Mark, let's call him Mark.
Let's call him Mark because that's his name.
And his surname, let's call him Allwood.
Allwood, which is ironic when you consider the story. Carry on.
So Mark goes to the same gym as I do. And I was in the changing room, and I just got out of the pool. I was pretty much dressed at this point, but Mark, I saw him in there. It's the first time I'd actually seen him in there, despite knowing he goes to the same gym. He just told me out of work, and we go to the same gym, but I'd never actually seen him in there. So the first time I see him in there, and he's absolutely starkers. So I thought it'd be quite amusing. I go up to him, and I pointed his JT, and I just said, "Do they do those in adult sizes?" I have a little laugh. He doesn't laugh. I put my glasses on, finish getting ready, and realise it's not Mark. It's a man I've never seen before.
Yes.
So I quickly hide in the toilets for around about 20 minutes and wait until he's left.
20 minutes.
It felt like
It
longer.
was hours.
Yeah, it was a long, long time. Yeah, I could never return, and I have since joined a different gym. Now, Maxim Tsigalko, do you know this name?
Belarusian.
Yes, real name, Maxim Tsigalko.
Are we putting a pronunciation warning in there too?
Yeah, definitely. But the point being that on the computer game Championship Manager 0102, he was called Maxim Tsigalko. Now it's Tsigalko. How would you say that?
Oh.
Tsigalko.
Say it again.
TSI.
TSI.
GAL.
GAL.
KO.
Tsigalko.
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 Maxim Tsigalko.
Maxim Tsigalko.
Not much point making an effort to say that because that was never his name.
Oh, is he another one they invented?
They didn't invent him. They just miswrote his name.
Ah.
So Maxim Tsigalko is his actual name, a Belarusian who played for Dynamo Minsk and on Championship Manager 0102, which we seem to reference quite a bit on this podcast. He was a wonder kid, could score more than 100 goals per season. You could sign him for usually under £1 million. And in real life, he had a good career, particularly at international level. Listen to this. 2 caps, 1 goal.
That is magnificent.
That's almost a goal a game.
Do you remember when you can sign players for less than £1 million?
Oh, back in the good old days.
Good Lord.
I don't want to say that in real life Maxim was a bit of a journeyman, but he plied his trade around Belarus, Armenia and Kazakhstan. He did, as I say, manage to get capped twice for Belarus. His brother, Yuri, was a professional goalkeeper who played 3 times for the national team at club level. He represented Shakhtar Soligorsk. I bet that extra cap hurt Maxim every day. His brother got 1 more.
But Maxim scored more goals.
The 1 goal he scored was in a friendly against Uzbekistan in 2003. It was a good year. He also won the Belarusian Cup in that year and the Belarusian League in 2004. Maxim was forced to retire. This is where it takes a bit of a darker
Oh,
turn.
there's always a dark turn to your stories.
I didn't make it up. He was forced to retire in 2010 and he was only 26.
Oh, no.
A career-ending injury, and it was really sad because what happened was it came when Portuguese side Maritimo, or do you say Maritimo?
Maritimo.
They took an interest and actually invited him for a trial to then go and sign him and bring him over to Europe. But in the training session, he suffered a very serious injury, was forced to return home and couldn't quite get the medical treatment he required and was never able to play at a top-flight level again.
That is a sad story. His big dream of breaking into Western Europe.
He made efforts to carry on playing, but the pain was too much. He retired 3 years later, as I say, at the age of 26. In 2014, he was voted the best championship or football manager player of all time.
Well, he always has that going for him.
Wikipedia Club.
Rayo Vallecano de Madrid. Founded in May 1924 in the neighbourhood of Vallecas. Rayo are one of the city of Madrid's other teams in La Liga. I think Getafe and Leganes are the other.
I was going with Getafe.
Other teams.
Yeah, the big one.
Home games are held at the Campo de Futbol de Vallecas. Would you like to have a stab at the capacity of the Campo de Futbol de Vallecas?
23.
14,708. They are known as the Red Sashes
Oh, because of their shirt.
because they reference to their kit of white with a red diagonal stripe. There is a Spanish term for that, but I can't read it.
I do own a Rayo Vallecano de Madrid shirt, and it's got a B in the middle.
Would you like to hazard a guess as to which club inspired their shirt?
River Plate.
River Plate. Indeed, it was the Argentine Giants and current Copa Libertadores holders, River Plate, who inspired that choice.
Commiserations to Boca Juniors.
Played in Madrid, of course, that
Oh,
second
yeah.
leg.
Good point. Did you see the half and half scarf?
You put it on the social medias.
A half and half scarf for Boca River. That guy's basically just saying, I'm here to have a good time, and I hope football's the winner.
Based on what happened in the first leg, I hoped football was the winner too.
Was it? I thought the standard was really poor.
Rayo have spent most of their history yo-yoing between La Liga and the Segunda. Their highest finish in La Liga, would you like to hazard a guess?
6th.
8th
Ooh.
in 2012-2013. In 2000 they finished 9th, but they also qualified for the UEFA Cup via the fair play draw. That's been their only dabble in European football, and they reached the quarter-final, beating Costel Icecchio Esportiva of Andorra a mere 16-0 on aggregate. In the qualifying round, they beat Molde of Norway, Viborg of Denmark, Lokomotiv Moscow of Russia in the third round. Fourth round, they triumphed over Bordeaux, and in the quarterfinals, they fell to another Spanish side, Alaves. In the 2000-2001 season in UEFA Cup, Alaves reached the final. And I think you probably remember when they met Liverpool, what happened?
That was an absolutely incredible final. That Alaves team, players like Herrera in goal, Dan Egan, Cosmin Contro sealed a move to Milan. I'm just, Jordi Cruyff played in that game.
How did you have that to hand?
I've always got this stuff just in case.
But yeah, it was amazing. 5-4 was it? Did it finish?
Yeah, Javi Moreno was integral.
It was a tremendous game.
You know what we should do in future, Adam?
What?
Greatest games of all time.
We should.
We should do that.
File that one away.
That's filed.
Former players of Rayo Vallecano include the Romanian international Razvan Rat, over 100 caps, Mexico legend Hugo Sanchez, Austria's record goalscorer Tony Polstar, Andorra's record appearance holder Ildefons Lima. I think we all remember him.
Ildefons. Oh, he's going to be a future fake footballer. Hey, Ildefons.
Former USA international Casey Keller had a spell, and also another goalkeeper, and my own personal nomination for sportsperson who's had the worst year, Julian Lopetegui, the former Spain and Real Madrid coach.
Yeah, he's had a bad year.
Their current roster includes some names you may be familiar with. Gael Kakuta, former Chelsea player who Chelsea broke transfer rules to sign from AC Lens, and then never really played. Bibi?
Oh, Bebe, the Manchester United player.
Bebe?
Yeah.
You say Bibi, I say Bebe.
Pretty sure it's Bebe.
Who was signed sight unseen.
Yeah, for a very small fee, of course.
Oh, very tiny fee. He's on the books at Rayo. And Gianelli Imbula, the Stoke City midfielder, still on the books of Stoke City.
Hasn't worked out like we thought it would.
He seemed like a really good signing, but it just did not work. He's on loan at Rayo. Also, they employ the former Swansea City defender Jordi Amat and Luis Advincula, you may remember, had a very impressive World Cup for Peru, bombing down the right wing. Rayo Vallecano have a hymn that they sing, and it goes something like this.
Oh, finally, I'm not the only one singing on the podcast.
I'm not going to sing it.
Oh.
I feel like it loses something in the translation, but I'm just going to...
I bet it doesn't.
I'm going to plough through.
Don't talk it down.
Rayo Vallecano always plays with bravery, courage and nobility. In every game it gives its heart and chest and aspire to be the best. No one
Do they
can
sing
take...
that line for the women's team?
No one can take the triumph from its hand when Rayo Vallecano is out to score. Rayo Vallecano makes a virtue out of its game. Rayo Vallecano is strength and youth. To see the clean triumph of your colours, your fans follow you and don't care where to. And unanimous trumpet their cheerful voices. Rayo has the nerve of a champion. No one can take the triumph from its hand. When Rayo Vallecano is out to score, Rayo Vallecano makes a virtue out of its game. Rayo Vallecano is strength and youth. Alabi, Alaba, Rayo Vallecano, Ra, Ra, Ra.
He's making it up as he goes along.
How beautiful is that?
I have no words.
That's a pleasant change.
What I have instead, a feature you might have thought had seen its final outing.
Yeah.
It's been resurrected.
Oh, God.
Vincent Candelar's candlelit courtship quest.
Oh, no one. Literally not one person.
Ooh la la. Do you want to finish the line?
Ooh la la. It's Vicente Lizarazu.
Ooh la la.
It's Vincent Candelar.
This week, the perfect romantic gift. When deciding on the perfect romantic gift for a partner, acquaintance, or lover, perhaps all three, a ménage à trois, or as we say in France, a meeting of three people. I remember the first time I met French defensive midfielder Emmanuel Petit. I said to him, Manu, your flowing blonde locks, your soft,
well-groomed face, and neck beard your perfect smile. I simply must know, how do you maintain such a glowing grin? Its proportions were everything a man could hope for. Tall, muscular, with the scent of roses, the Cadbury's chocolate selection, and the precocious plant. Oh, Manu, I said, why only now, so late in the day? So long have I yearned to meet a being as exquisite, as magnificent. You are all I ever wanted in a soulmate. So much we can do together, the places we will go, the things we will see, our futures intertwined, every passionate embrace dancing before me in my mind's eye. You are my all. But he had his new Bowers and Wilkins PX Bluetooth headphones on and didn't hear me nor see me. So instead I just cleared my throat. We never spoke again.
Next week, penning the perfect love letter. Nickname the club. That's what I'm calling this feature.
Nickname the club.
Now let's give it a better name. Name the club from its nickname.
Oh, it just rolls off the tongue.
Okay, carpet men.
I'm sorry?
It's our new profession, it's our sideline.
Carpet men.
Carpet men.
This is a club
Yeah.
called Carpet Men.
The modern carpet industry was founded in this area.
Is English?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Bang smack in the middle
In the middle.
of England.
Kidderminster.
Yes, Kidderminster Harriers.
Really?
Well done.
How about that?
What about the monkey hangers?
Oh, well, this is a famous one. This is Hartlepool United.
During the Napoleonic Wars, the citizens of Hartlepool allegedly hung a monkey, believing him to be a French spy.
No one can say he wasn't.
Exactly, proven wrong. What about the railway men?
As opposed to the Railway Children, which is a popular book/television event. Crew.
Yes. What about the mariners?
The Mariners. Seattle.
No, the mariners. You always call Seattle... Actually, I'm wearing right now, aren't I? A Seattle
A
Mariners.
Mariner shirt,
I'm wearing
yes.
a Seattle Mariners top.
You're wearing a Mariners
That's
top.
my baseball team. No, in the UK, you know this one.
Grimsby Town.
You are doing very well. Can you get the final three? The Tykes.
There's three. The Tykes are Barnsley.
They are. What about the Seasiders?
The Seasiders are both Brighton and Hove Albion.
They are not the Seasiders.
Oh, do you know what? I've rushed into that, and I've now twigged.
They are the Seagulls.
I feel like it's Blackpool.
It is Blackpool.
I rushed into it.
Should I give him that?
I got all blasé about it.
You did. I'm going to say I'll allow it, but only if you get this one. The Shrimps.
The Shrimps. Morecambe.
It is Morecambe. I have to say you've done pretty well there with name the club. Nick. I can't remember. Come up with a name. Adam, do you remember last week you mentioned to me a player from Réunion?
No.
Réunionese.
It was Laurent Robert, I believe, the first player of mystery that has had you stumped.
So it got me interested in players from that region. Guillaume Houraru.
He's like an 8-foot tall striker.
Yes. Now, how do you pronounce his surname? It's Hoarau.
Hello.
Haru. Guillaume, which of course is French for William. Haru, the Réunionese footballer, does actually have 5 caps for France.
He does.
This is where it gets interesting, though. He's playing for Young Boys of Bern.
Yes.
Do you know how many goals he scored in 150 games?
81.
101.
Good Lord.
That is some kind of record. He was part of the Young Boys squad that won the Swiss Super League in 2017-18, their first league title in 32 years. They will win the Swiss Super League title this season too. We are in 2018-2019 season. They're 15 points clear at time of recording ahead of Basel. So I thought it was worth mentioning him because of that incredible goal-scoring record.
Controversially, though, he's quite old.
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
I don't quite know where the cut-off is for Young Boys of Bern. When is somebody?
I see, right.
When does someone stop being young?
Excluding the words football club from all team names, name the only team who have played in the Premier League whose name ends in a G. By the way, do check out Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. It's cracking, Adam.
Probably a lot better than the Manchester City one, because who wants to see people being successful?
All or nothing.
You want to just see misery.
I want to
don't
see
you?
nothing and nothing. So what are you going with? Are you just buying yourself time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I've got it. Reading.
It is reading, yes. Now, name someone who's scored 5 goals in a single Premier League game.
Sergio Aguero.
Straight off the mark. This is why they call you Adam the Brain.
Do they?
No, I've just decided
I wish
that.
they did. I do have a massive brain.
You just got a big head. I don't think that's the same.
Got
Got a large cranium. You're bad in hats.
Well, my mother was very upset about it.
Oh, because of the pain.
Because of the birth. Yeah.
Why would you go there?
I don't really know.
Oh, dear. Are you going to guess the...
I more came from there rather than went there.
Wow, stop it. The final four.
Shearer.
Yes. Okay, another one. Used to play for the club you supports.
Ah.
Bit prolific. Known as Mr. Goals. Came through the youth
Oh,
team.
Jermaine.
Jermaine Defoe. So you've got Alan Shearer, Jermaine Defoe, Sergio Aguero. We now need two others. One is English, one is from Bulgaria.
Got to be Dimitar Berbatov.
So the last one would be... Do we give you some of his clubs?
Teddy Sheringham.
No. He did play up front with Teddy Sheringham, and they didn't get on. Up front.
Andy Cole.
Andy Cole, you got them all. You know what time it is.
The mysterious player of mystery.
That's right, time to reveal the mysterious player of mystery. Adam, would you like the clubs again?
Yeah, give me the clubs.
Albacete, Zaragoza, Real Madrid, Monaco, Liverpool, Valencia, Marseille, and Santa Ana. There you go. With affected Spanish pronunciation. Are you going to need the player's position?
No, I'm going to go for it.
Go on then.
I think I know it.
For all 3 points.
I feel a little bit smug about it as well. I probably shouldn't say that because if it's wrong, it looks silly.
I'm going to love it if you get this wrong.
Fernando Morientes.
Bugger. I mean, well done. It is Fernando Morientes from 1998 to 2007. He's played for the Spanish national team. He played 47 times. Do you know how many goals he scored?
15.
27.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what he's doing now?
He went into club management in the Spanish lower leagues.
He did,
I
yeah.
don't know for whom.
Well, he didn't do particularly well. He's currently out of work. He managed Hurricane at youth level, Real Madrid at youth level, and a pronunciation warning is in effect. Fuenlabrada.
Fuenlabrada.
It's strange that a player of his stature has had to go right down to the lower league. Sometimes if you were a very good player, you can get a bit of a leg up and start at a big club, but not for Fernando Morientes, and he's currently looking for his next managerial outpost.
Let me look at Santiago Solari based on being a former Real Madrid player. Now the Real Madrid coach.
For maths fans, the current score in the Mysterious Player of Mystery is 1-4. Words that are back in fashion. I know you like to keep up with this sort of stuff, Adam, so just so you're aware, over the next couple of weeks, if you could start reusing the words rad, hella, and snazzy.
You say reusing. I don't think I've ever used any of those words.
Well, start using them.
I'm not even sure what the middle one means.
They're back in fashion. Oh, you know, you have a great sign-off that people have actually started saying to you.
I guess somebody in the real life, or IRL as the kids say, did say it back to me, and it sounded ridiculous.
I don't think you can really create a catchphrase. It has to come organically.
But it was very organic.
But mine's come with a lot of creation.
So you've sat down and thought.
I've thought of two, and I want you to tell me which one you'd like me to finish with.
Hours and hours of thought have gone into these, and this is what you've come up with.
Well, I saw one of them on a recent review on iTunes. Please review us on iTunes. I don't know why, but people always say that.
So you've stolen somebody else's?
In a way. In fact, you said the other one. So I'm stealing both. First one is Viva la Vols.
Oh, yes.
Viva la Vols. And this one, Give 'em the Vols.
Give 'em the... That was me.
That was you. Do you like that? Which one do you like?
Well, obviously my one.
Give 'em the Vols. Now, we're not done, of course. As anyone who listens regularly will know, we now go over to Adam's History Corner.
Let's get sexy. It's another catchphrase.
Totally unnecessary.
Let me take you to the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, not too far from Bury St Edmunds, for you geography fans out there. During the reign of King Stephen, which, as you know, was between 1135 and 1154 AD. Now, according to a chap called William of Newburgh, who wrote the Historia Rerum Anglicarum, one day villagers there discovered two children, a boy and a girl, beside one of the wolf pits that gave the village its name.
You don't keep children next to a wolf pit.
And there was something even more unusual about this situation, which was that the children spoke in a strange language.
Wolf.
And they wore unfamiliar clothes. And they were green. Your eyes are narrowing.
I remember we spoke about the family from Kansas that were blue.
Distant relatives.
Kicked them out because they're the wrong colour.
Discrimination is
it's the worst
not
kind.
tolerated
I totally
on this
agree.
podcast.
Blue, green, we love them all.
They were taken to the home of local bigwig Richard de Calne, where they refused all food for several days, until they discovered some raw broad beans and then happily downed them. Gradually, they adapted to normal food and lost their green colouring.
Well, they do say you are what you eat. I don't remember eating a King Legend.
Eventually, they were both baptised, because that's the answer to everything. After which the boy, who was the younger of the two, developed a sickness and died. And read into that what you will. But the girl lived on, and after being taught to speak English, she explained.
After being taught what?
After being taught to speak English,
Right.
she explained that they had come from a land where the sun never shone, living in a perpetual twilight. She called this land St. Martin's Land, where everything was green. She couldn't account for how she had arrived in Woolpit, saying that she and the boy, who turned out to be her brother,
Who'd have thought it?
leaving it for a bit of drama.
Oh, I don't think there's much drama there.
She said that she and her brother had been herding their father's cattle when they followed the livestock into a cave and had gotten lost. They followed the sound of bells, which are believed to be the bells of the church at Bury St Edmunds, and emerged by the wolf pits. The girl would become a servant in the household of Richard de Corn, where her behaviour was described, and I quote, as very wanton and impudent, until she left to marry a chap from King's Lynn. Interestingly, local author Bob Roberts wrote in his 1978 book, A Slice of Suffolk, that I was told there are still people in Woolpit who are descended from the Green Children, but nobody would tell me who they were. This story, which was recounted by the historian William, he wasn't the only one to mention it at the time. Ralph de Coggeshall, in his Chronicum Anglicum, also mentioned this strange story about the Green Children. But neither he nor William would offer an explanation. But since then, explanations have been sought. Had the villagers experienced a chance encounter with creatures from a mysterious other world?
No.
Astronomer Duncan Loonan suggested that the children had been accidentally transported to Woolpit from their home planet as a result of, and I quote again, a matter transmitter malfunction. Obviously.
Worst kind.
He went on to explain that the planet from which the children were expelled may be trapped in synchronous orbit around its sun, presenting the conditions for life only in a narrow twilight zone between a fiercely hot surface and a frozen dark side. He explains the children's green coloration as a side effect of consuming the genetically modified alien plants eaten by the planet's inhabitants. He actually wrote these things down. The other theory, and perhaps the one that we should probably lean towards, is that this tale is actually a result of racial intolerance and mistrust. There had been considerable Flemish immigration into England at that time, which included a large number of Flemish folk who were based near Bury St Edmunds, where they worked in cloth making. This coincides with a period of persecution directed at the Flemish immigrants. So it's theorised that these two kids were children of a Flemish family that had come to some harm. Their clothes were strange, as was their language, plus even the green colouring could be a result of hyperchromic anemia, a condition linked to a poor diet. Hence, when they ate properly, it disappeared. This strange tale of two green children found in the 1100s could just be a result of fear and persecution directed at those of a foreign persuasion some 800 years ago. And isn't it nice that we now live in far more enlightened times?
Is the Grinch not a theory we're throwing in there? Or, you said they were working in cloth.
Yes.
Could have been dyeing the cloth.
The
colour.
Flemish cloth makers.
Yeah.
That could be a theory.
Could have been dyeing the cloth green,
But it's just strange that historians were studying sort of texts from way back when, 800 years ago, the reign of King Stephen, and discovered not one, but two different stories about two green children. It just goes to show that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
You should write a song about that. Give them the vols, Viva la vols, and
Fernando Morientes.
That's not your new sign-off. Don't do it again.
We'll see you at the beach.